In this video, we'll be reviewing the all-new HiPhi Z EV.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Welcome once again to Sim Action Auto Review channel. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and turn on the post notification, like, share and also, comment down below. "10 years ago, the quantity of Chinese vehicle marques at last appeared to be decreasing. Then along came EVs, and each maker concluded they required no less than 2 electric brands, and an entirely different camp idea the current makers hadn't the faintest idea, so there was space to hop into the market. HiPhi falls into the last option bunch and is a vehicle brand from Shanghai-based innovation startup Human Skylines, established in 2017. HiPhi's advancement has been aggressive and quick. The brand's most memorable vehicle, the HiPhi X, began conveyances in China in June 2021. The vehicle we're trying here got to the principal Chinese clients in February 2023 and is going to send off in Europe. A third model, a purposely more mass-market vehicle called the Y, was revealed at the Shanghai Car Expo in April. HiPhi deals in Europe, based from a deal center point in Germany presently under development in Munich, will start conveyances probably by pre-fall. Before the year's over, the brand will likewise be selling in the Center East. And keeping in mind that there are no designs to be in the US at any point in the near future, Wired was explicitly told at a brand-facilitated media drive in Munich that HiPhi will go to US sooner or later. Have confidence, HiPhi is in a rush to do something worth remembering. Which takes us back to the similarly fast Z, the leader, tech and contraption-loaded EV with which HiPhi needs to stir things up, form memorability, and prepare for its coming volume vehicle, the Y. Maybe to get this slice through, the Z even has a halfway mounted, mechanical, moving screen-cum-computerized collaborator that checks you when you converse with it out. The Z positively is fast, being a lively-looking electric GT in style contrasted, and the X, which HiPhi calls a shooting cross. The X and Z do, nonetheless, share similar stage and large numbers of similar characteristics. Those smooth lines are flabbergasting, and the Z is huge. It comes in at not just 5,036 mm, 16 feet, 6 inches, long yet additionally 2,018 mm, 79.4 inches, wide. Consider the 3,150 mm, 124-inch, wheelbase and you start to completely comprehend the reason why the HiPhi Z highlights 4-wheel drive as well as 4-wheel directing also. In the event that you're thinking all that size and tech can't come modest, you'd be correct. HiPhi especially needs to be a superior brand. Beginning at €105,000, $114,652, there are a decision of 2 renditions of the HiPhi Z, a 5-seater and a 4-seater. HiPhi charges the Z and X as twin Corona vehicles, with the X being similarly very good quality, complete with a discretionary vanishing champagne caddy with space for a jug and glasses. To be sure, the X beginnings at a comparative cost, €109,000/$119,003, and, as per the organization, dominates any semblance of the Porsche Taycan in China for premium EV deals, which HiPhi characterizes as EVs over €70,000 to €80,000. Wired couldn't track down autonomous figures to validate such cases. How can it be the case for a new, obscure brand to accomplish this? First and foremost there is the Guoqiao peculiarity, which generally interprets as a public wave where the Chinese populace have begun leaning toward Chinese items. In the car business, this has implied an ascent in tech-loaded models that enticement for the new age of purchasers. Furthermore, presently, with EVs representing in excess of 1/4 of the market in China, this undeniably implies going electric. Eventually, the Chinese automakers are concocting EVs that enticement for Chinese purchasers obviously better than any unfamiliar contenders, bar Tesla. Yet, will those looks prevail upon anybody? The world polarizing comes into view. HiPhi appears to be determined to be the Citroën of the EV world. Maybe it's no happenstance that the VP of configuration is French. It is attempting to be dissimilar to nearly anything out and about. All things considered, it has in excess of a whiff of BMW's i8 about it, particularly with the broad lines at the back. The front is extremely male, exceptionally forceful, with patterns and wrinkles to emphasize the look. Regardless of this, the hood figures out how to stow away a frunk under, about large enough to fit the charging links. Initially the plan called for cameras rather than side mirrors, within the entryways actually highlight the space which would have housed the screens. Current Chinese guidelines don't consider such cameras, however it is potential they might show up on trade variants, yet not in the EU adaptation we drove. This would likewise assist with diminishing the drag coefficient of 0.27, which isn't ideal for a low-thrown EV. Windscreenless at the back, very much like the new Polestar 4, the HiPhi Z is subject to a camera for the back view reflect. To open the entryways you press a button on the B point of support, the back pair are mentor entryways. To close the driver's entryway you press the brake pedal. Entryways can likewise be shut through the infotainment screen or by voice control. In the back there are rooftop-mounted buttons to close the entryways. It is at times a concern when vehicle organizations go overboard with various techniques to open and close entryways. They fail to remember the simplest and most dependable way is frequently to allow the human to make it happen. As opposed to being straightforwardly joined to the dashboard, the screen is mounted on controlled metal bars, permitting it to turn, and even dance to the music of certain recordings. This might seem like a futile party stunt, however it intends that essentially the driver or traveler can upgrade the situating of the screen. It likewise implies the bot can go to check out at you when you address it. On the off chance that limits time enjoyed with eyes off the street, that is just fine. Yet, let's not mince words, this is a trick. It is not the slightest bit important or obviously better than an installed screen. HiPhi has placed some thought into the UI. At the lower part of the screen is the smaller than usual bar with controls for the temperature, wind stream, and media volume. There's additionally a simple bar with controls for media determination, seat warming, and back rub capabilities, alongside another bar showing the all-out long stretches of proprietorship and mileage for the vehicle. Data, for example, speed is shown across the upper left of the screen, and along the left edge are the menu things. HiPhi says 85% of client needs should be possible on the screen in a couple of steps. Be that as it may, consider this, incredibly, no auto brand is perfect at in-vehicle UI yet. Rather than actual buttons, you need to go through 4 or 5 screen taps to find the controls for the wing mirrors. What's more terrible, there are a few unique settings menus as opposed to a brought-together one. Most controls might be on that home screen, yet it's not precisely fun when you need to dive into the submenus. Hardware and materials are by and large great. You have things like warming, ventilation, and back rub on the front seats, alongside a 23-speaker Meridian sound framework. Nonetheless, while you have a lot of calfskin and microfiber, the edges of the second layer of the dashboard are simply hard plastic. With the pointedly slanting back roofline, headspace in the back column of the Z isn't especially great. We had a couple of fingers extra headroom with the 4-seater, however sitting in the center seat of the 5-seater you needed to stoop your head forward. Charged as an electric GT, the HiPhi Z doesn't miss the mark. While by the guidelines of the quickest EVs the speed increase figure isn't really that quick, the genuine story is about how it drives. In such a major, blundering vehicle like the X such speed increase is fringe startling, however with the Z it feels undeniably more oversaw and controlled. With a consolidated result of 494 kilowatts and 820 Newton-meters of force, not even once did the vehicle feel like it was battling to manage the power from the twin engines. One treat for an EV was the OR shifts utilized as a strategy for choosing both the drive mode and slowing down recovery. You could adore this or think that it is annoyingly confounding. Get left or right to go through the choices, however when you pull both all the while you change from drive mode to the slowing down Regan menu or the other way around. It is not difficult to filth this up when you're not accustomed. I'm glad that you now fully understand this vehicle. Would you kindly do me the favor of subscribing to this channel and pressing the notification bell button so that you are notified as soon as we upload another video like this. Thank you.